Sounds like a lot of hoopla to make over a little Krabby Patty, right?
Hey guys, Nathan here, back here with another video, and today, this video, I'm going to be telling you and showing you how to play centre mid on pro clubs, more specifically play like a box to box. And the reason I've come up with this video idea, you might be thinking, oh, it's like, oh Nathan, like, it's easy playing centre mid, like it's easy, one of the easiest positions, and you can say that, yeah, that might because you're good at pro clubs, but I've been playing a lot of like pro clubs recently on the looking for group posts on Xbox, yeah, just like, you know, just playing with some randoms, you know, trying to meet new people and whatever, and I've realised that, like, so many people on this game are so bad at clubs. So I thought I'd come and make this video to show you how to like some of these people how to, like, you know, like play their position better. And like obviously, like, you go on YouTube and there's probably plenty of other videos of how to play midfield, but a lot of them, like, I know this from experience of when I was trying to get better at clubs, like back in like FIFA 15, FIFA 14, all these videos would just have like the same tips and they're not actually very good. They just be like, oh, stay close to your striker, or oh, look for good passes. Like, yeah, but how do you know what's a good pass, what's not? So in this video, I'm going to try to go a bit more in depth and help some of you newer players and some of you less experienced players on how to become a better midfielder. And then today's episode is going to be box to box, because I've been playing as a box to box recently when I've been playing pro clubs, and I've been having a lot of fun. If you want me to do another video on CDM, cam, holding mid, striker, left wing, like all those positions that I play quite a bit, I might even get some of my friends in. Compost, I think, will help out at left back. He's a top 50 player. So yeah, he might help with a left back, how to play left back. But without any further ado, I'll get into the video. But before I start, just remember to like and subscribe, and you know, like, put notifications on for every time I upload, because I'm gonna jump back on the YouTube grind and get some more videos out for you guys. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video.
Can't lie, can't hear none of that, cause the hunting's loud and the Volvo's revving. It was me and so quick on the strip, just
Positioning is important for every position on the pitch when it comes to pro clubs, but I think is most important when it comes to midfield. That's why I would like to talk on this point first. But anyway, in this gameplay, I am playing in a random club, and I'm playing as a left centre mid in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. And as you can see, off the start of the game, they kick off, and I have to choose whether I want to press high first, or if I want to sit back and soak up the pressure. And I allow them to come at me. And soak up a bit of pressure until they're in our defensive third, and that's when I decide to push up and try to take the ball, which pushes them back, meaning they have to restart their attack, which gives me time to reposition myself and either get ready for them to attack again and try to take the ball, or for my team to take the ball and I get in the position to pick up the ball to start an attack, as you can obviously see on the screen. But that's not the only thing you need to do. They're not like the only two things you need to do when it comes to defending and positioning yourself. So if you look here, right here, my left back gets drawn out. So he gets drawn out to come take the ball. And as you can see, I drop back into his position to mark the run of the player that was about to try run down his flank because of him being out of position. So even when the left back loses the ball, this winger has to drop deep and to pick up the ball. They can't play the long pass through to him down the line, because I've sat in for my left back and covered his position, which is something that's very important. When one of your other midfielders or defenders gets dragged out of position, it's very important to sit back into their position and cover the space. That's when it comes to defending anyway, and if you're a good CDM, you'll know that. But if you only really play cam, but you want to branch out into playing centre mid and midfield as a whole, that is one thing you're going to need to learn, is to be able to drop back and cover your teammates when they need the defensive cover. But that's all really for the defensive side that I really have to say. It's just like, you know, just defend as a whole. Like, it's just like, you know, it's just easy defending. Like, if you're at a CDM, you'll get it, but if you're more of a attacking midfielder, I'll cover that. Like, I'll cover how to get used to defending when we talk about the attacking side of midfield, of playing as a box-to-box. Now we move into having the ball and occupying space in transition. I feel like this is equally as important as defending. I'd say attacking, when it comes to being a box-to-box, I'd say attacking is the least important of the three, but but your position in transition has to be perfect, or else it just opens up your team to be countered pretty much, because you need to be in the space. You need to be in space to pick up the ball. You always need to be ready to pick up the ball. You need to occupy space that nobody else is in to either pick up the ball and ping another pass forward, or to open up space for your teammates to make runs. But with all that being said, sometimes your team can't always play it forward, and that's where you've got to realise, okay, I'm going to drop back, sit behind the person with the ball, pick it up, recycle possession, and then go again. I'll throw a few clips up now of me just occupying space and trying my hardest to pick up the ball, and then carry it forward, or just ping a pass forward, or me even just sitting in space to open up space for my teammates. This is so important because I see so many people just stand there and they spam for the ball, but they're not in a good position. They just want the ball because they feel like everything has to happen through them, and they'll just stand there. They'll just occupy busy space as well. They'll stand next to the striker or next to the cam, and they just clog up so much space, meaning your team can't actually progress forward with the ball, and you end up losing the ball. And that's where I see a lot of teams fail, in the fact that their midfielders don't want to occupy space to make room for other people. They always want to have the ball, so they sit in busy areas thinking they're going to get the ball, when that's not actually how it works. And if you look at the clip I'm going to put up now of me moving forward into the attack, you can see that we win the ball back, and I stay on the edge of the box. I stay on the edge of the box so that just in case it gets cleared, I'm in a position to pick up the ball and start the attack again and stop the counter-attack. I'm not rushing the box to try pick up the ball and score a goal. I am waiting, allowing my teammates to get the glory of scoring a goal if the chance is created, and just being aware that that a goal scoring chance might not be created from this, and they might clear it. And if I'm on the edge of the box, there's more chance of me winning the ball back again, and either taking a shot, restarting the attack, or quickly just playing another pass in and getting the assist. It's not all about getting the goals and assists in this position. It's about controlling the play and making sure that pretty sure just making sure the team functions. So if you're a selfish player and you only really care about your goals and assists, this is really not the position for you. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. And as you maybe even saw, I got an assist in this clip, but it's because I was patient. I waited. I saw some space that no one on my team was occupying. I got into that space, put the cross across, and bam, we score. I didn't rush it. I didn't think, oh wow, I really need this assist. I found myself in that position, and I was like, I'm gonna get the ball here because we can score from this. I didn't even, I didn't plan on going into this game and being like, yeah, I'm going to get 2 assists and a goal. Or anything like that. I was just like, I'm going to play this game and I'm going to see how it goes. Because that's what you've got to do. Obviously, as a striker, you come into a game and you're like, oh, I want to get a hat-trick. Or if you're playing as a cam, you're like, oh, I want to get a hat-trick assists. And if you're playing as a defender, you're like, oh, I want to get a clean sheet. But in this position, you're just sort of like, well, I'm going to see how the game goes. If we're getting peppered, then I'm just going to sit back and defend and try to get a clean sheet. But if they're not very good and we're dominating possession, then maybe I'm like, okay, I might try to get a few assists and a goal. But it's about you should set your goals for the match in the match. I'd say after the first 10 minutes is when you should really be like, okay, this is what I want from this game and this is how I want it to go. But that's it for being in transition. And now I'm going to talk about the most important thing, which is attacking. But this goes on to the second segment of the video, which is passing lanes, passing and picking the right pass.
It was me and Soul Crib on the strip, just lurking round with 2 different weapons. Anytime I step round them side, just know that it's smoky settings.
Obviously, when it comes to being a midfielder, there's nothing more important than being able to pass the ball. That is just there's nothing more important in football anyway than being able to pass the ball. But yeah, passing, obviously, big talking point, probably the second biggest talking point, especially in this position anyway. And when it just comes to passing, it's obviously most of you should be able to know how to pass, but what I want to talk about is picking the right pass and how to know if you've picked the right pass or not. And one thing I do see a lot of people struggle with, especially in this position and when I play with other people in obviously the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, is that they always rush their passes. Because they'll see someone making a run, but they're not ready to play that pass, so they'll play that pass, try to play that pass anyway and mess it up, instead of just letting that person go offside, come back on, or even look for another run and then just pass the ball when they're actually ready to pass the ball and they're comfortable playing that pass. They just try to play audacious passes that they know they won't complete. Also, it's the fact that people just are obsessed with going forward. and they will not pass backwards. They always think they've got to go forward. They think it's like reverse rugby, but obviously you can pass backwards, and it is always good to pass backwards if there's no options forward and you're being pressed and being rushed, because you don't want to lose the ball trying to pick a forward pass when you could just pass it back to someone that you may be further back, but they've got a few better passing lanes open up. Here is a perfect example. It leads to a goal, but as you can see, I'm sort of just like moving around with the ball. I keep turning to see if I can get the forward pass off, but I realise I can't, and I finally pass it back. Then after I've passed it back, we obviously see that we've got the ball, and then bam, it leads to a goal. It leads to me scoring a goal as well, which is another thing I forgot to mention in the positioning, but I'll mention it here now quickly. Is late runs into the box a key as a midfielder, as a cam, and as a centre mid. As a DM, I'd say like late runs to the edge of the box are more like, you know, a fitting for that position. But essentially as a centre mid and a cam, late runs into the box, a killer. It's like you're like Frank Lampard in his prime, just late run into the box, bam, slot it in, and you score. But yeah, and then next clip here that I'm going to show you is an assist I get. Well, it's not an assist because I'm not gonna lie, the people I was playing with in this game were atrocious. So obviously I pick the ball up, yellow's onside, but I don't pass it to him. They go offside, but I see that red and blue are still onside. So I pass the ball, and obviously I think it's red and blue anyway. But yeah, I pass the ball, and yellow tries to run onto it even though they're onside, but luckily they don't get onto it. And there's a little mix up where one of them takes the touch into the box and the other one shoots. But we get the goal anyway, but it was a bit of a mix up. But that's what you got to do, is like, I didn't try rush that pass to the person that's yellow. I waited for them to be offside and saw that my other two, because I knew I had time with my other two teammates still making their runs. I knew I had time, so I didn't rush anything, and I picked the perfect pass, and we ended up getting a goal from it. Another thing that a lot of people do, and this is how I know if someone's not a good player on pro clubs, and I don't know if I've got any clips of it. If I've got a clip of it, I'll throw it up on screen, but if not, I'll try my best to explain it. But it's where, if I'm playing as a cam or a centre mid, or even a DM at some points, when I'm about to play a pass through, sometimes I'll just stop running and just stand still for like a second or two. And what that does is that will make the defenders rush to me. So if one of my strikers, and when I play at a high level with Toby and that, and you might have seen it in some of my videos, when I'm playing with them, they'll stop making their run, and then they'll be onside. They'll still be onside because they're still in line with the defenders, but the defenders have been dragged. Most of the defenders have been dragged out because I've stopped with the ball, so they think they can just take it off me. They think my controller's died or something. And then as they start running towards me, there'll be a split second where they're out of position, but they're not. They're out of position, leaving the striker for on goal, because it will usually only be two of the back line that come out. So the strike still be played onside, and there'll be a split second between the striker being played onside with two of the defenders running out, where they can't block my pass. So I'll play that pass, and 9 times out of 10 when I do that, because I've mastered the art of it. That sounds really bent, I can't lie, but yeah, I've mastered the art of it. That 9 times out of 10 I will get an assist from it, or the ball will go through it and will score from it. So that is very important, and I know someone's not a good player if they get mad at me for doing that, because it is such an effective thing, and it has boosted my assist numbers by learning to do that, and it's one of like the skills I've picked up that I'm glad I've picked up. But there's not really anything else I have to say about passing, because passing's pretty easy. It's just like, take your time with your passes, and only make a forward and expansive pass if you're 3 or 4-0 up and you're making expansive passes just to like try it, then go ahead. But if it's in a close game, just play the passes you're comfortable with, because no one's going to get mad at you if you pass it backwards and your team still have the ball because you kept possession. It's just do what you're comfortable with, and don't try play expansive passes when you know you can't, because then that's just when you're throwing away possession, and that's when your teammates will get frustrated with you. So yeah, just play the passes you're comfortable with, and then over time you'll be able to get the vision to pick out better passes, and like, you know, like more expansive passes. So yeah, just take your time with these things. They do take time, but if you just take your time, play the passes you're comfortable with, you'll soon be able to play the better and more expansive passes, and you'll become a better playmaker as a time. But moving on from this, I would just like to, moving on from the passing, which was a quite short segment, I think, I'm going to move on to just like communication, and then I'm going to move on to my build at the end. So yeah.
Free say it's nothing but beef and trap. See, I'm trying to move this cat, but my man's going on rude and that. I'm really out here moving.
moving on to the final part of the video today, which is going to be teamwork and communication, also all rolled into one. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, pretty much. Just make sure that when you're playing in a midfield 3, even a midfield 2, you just communicate with your partner. If you're not playing with AI, you just make sure you communicate with him, know where they want you to be. So if you're going to push forward, make sure that they stay back, and if they're going to push forward, make sure you stay back. If you're playing in a 2, even if you're playing in a 3, communicate with your strikers. So tell them where you want them to be. Communicate with your wing backs. If you're playing in the 4-1-2 narrow like I am, I always communicate with Compost, who's usually on my side on the left. I usually do communicate with Dylan, and he when he wants to overlap, he'll tell me, and when I want him to overlap, and when he wants me to sit back in his position, he'll tell me. But yeah, communicate with your whole back line. Just communicate with your whole team. Tell them where you want them to be. Tell them when you want the ball, and ask them who wants the ball. When you're on the ball, just who wants it. And just just communicate. Tell them where you want them to be. Ask where they want you to be, and then that's obviously a winning formula for any team. But I think it is most important to communicate when you're a midfielder. Anyway, and yeah, just work as a team, play as a team. You're not a one, just because you're doing all the defending and the attacking, you're not a one-man team, so don't think that. Always play as a team, always pass to your team, always help your team, double up on the press. If someone needs help, if someone's pressing someone, go in and take the ball off of them while they're on the press. It's just common footballing knowledge. So just work as a team and communicate, and you should be fine, I'd say. This is probably the most important thing to pro clubs, is communication. I probably should have said it first, but for this position, for this position it is still the most important, but I just left the best till last, so you watch through the whole video. But I do think the other two are more important for improving your game individually, and this is just the one to take your team to the next level, to make you the best player you can be, and to make your whole team the best team you can be. Anyway, this has been Nathan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and tell me what you want to see next. If you'd like to see me do this for the other positions, and if so, comment down below. And also comment down below if you do want to see this build, because I was debating whether to put it at the end of this video, but I don't know. So if you want to see this build, also comment down below. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Nathan, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
He got chipped, then he got shot and chef. I'm on the up block doing up chef. I'm in a bando doing up chef. Serving grub, I'm serving wounds.